Hammurabi's. That would be, that was unintelligible as I recall. Not, but this is better. I screwed up this quote. It's a good quote.
Okay.
Bad at that.
He's standing for the jury, please. Be seated, please. Back on the record, counsel, the parties and the jury are present, and we are ready to resume.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Mr. Hussaini, just a couple of topics left. Did you tell Joanna for weeks that you had agreed that no ownership interest transferred in 2020?
Yeah, I was essentially trying to make the same point that I was trying to make when I signed the graph paper document.
Okay, and then did you also repeatedly state that you would take no action on the property without her consent?
Yeah, while we were arguing,
Okay.
I did that.
And let's just make it quick. That's easy. And then we'll go to have the exhibit published. This is for admitted exhibits 12, 13, and 14.
Plaintiff 12, 13, 14.
Defendants.
Thank you.
All right. So first paragraph number 1, property. Excuse me. Landlady owns certain real property and improvements located at 15824 North 22nd Way, Phoenix, Arizona. This is an agreement you signed. What did you mean when you said, or when you agreed that she owned certain real property?
This is one of the agreements where we took, the last year's document and just copied it over every year.
Okay. So you intended something other than that she owned the property?
Yeah, at this point in 2021, like I had bought the house from her. So like
2022, though, you did sign that affirmation, didn't you? The graph paper agreement?
the graph paper agreement, yeah, I did sign that.
So is this in accordance with that graph paper agreement?
No, I don't think it is because, again, the rental income was coming to me.
So it means something other than that she owned the property.
Yeah, I think if we had built this document up from scratch, like we wouldn't have put that line in there.
But you did sign it.
I did sign it.
Okay. And then 2022, same phrase. Landlady owns certain real property and improvements located at 15824 North 22nd Way, Phoenix, Arizona.
Yep, but like I said, we copied and pasted.
You didn't object to this?
No, I did not.
Okay, and then just, although this is the first one, it also bears that same phrase. Do you agree?
Yeah, like I said, copy and paste.
All right. So just to one more time, lay it all out. We have a residence agreement, roommate agreement, promissory note, 3 leases, and the affirmation, and that's a stack of documents. I think we get 7 or 8 documents which you're signing, which means something other than what you intend. Is that correct?
Yeah, my count was 7. Like I said, I think almost all of them were fake. The last one, the graph paper agreement, I think that one's just incomplete.
Now, you said earlier that 3 cigarettes is not a habit, but what's 7?
You smoke them all in one night? Like,
You tell me.
I think it's up for debate. Like, I clearly did some dumb stuff here with Iwana. We, made some documents for dumb reasons. This is not how I intend to live my life. This is not how I usually live my life. This was dumb stuff that we did.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a seat. Next witness.
Your Honor, we're gonna rest. I'll do cross after defense begins tomorrow.
Okay. Mr. Richardson. Your first witness.
Can we submit a motion for judgment as a matter of law, Your Honor?
You can come to the bench and we can talk about it. Well, I'm sorry. Did we have any jury questions for the witness? I didn't see any in the box. Thank you.
All right, defense calls Ioana Sammartinian.
Thank you.
Witness.
Come on up, please. And then before you sit, we'll get you sworn in.
Solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Have a seat. And those are very directional mics. If you don't have to be super close, but it does have to be pointed at your mouth. That's great. Thank you.
All right. My apologies. I thought there might be redirect, but here we are. Okay. Ioana, can you introduce yourself to the jury, please?
My name is Ioana Sammartinian.
And where do you live currently?
I live at the mothership.
And how did you meet plaintiff?
I met him in high school.
And at what point did you guys become housemates?
He moved in as my roommate tenant in 2015.
And what was the nature of the relationship at that point?
We were best friends. I considered him to be like a brother to me.
And was he paying rent to you when he moved in?
Yes. He negotiated a discount on rent in exchange for being my financial advisor.
What did that mean? He was your financial advisor.
He was basically overseeing and giving advice on all of my financial issues.
And that was from the moment he moved in?
Yes.
Did you guys have any sort of romantic relationship?
Never.
Did you ever call him your forever friend?
Yes. We both called each other that.
What was the meaning of that to you?
Basically just meant best friends.
Okay. And then in 2017, we've heard testimony that there was this free money scheme. What was your understanding of that arrangement?
Well, Zubair couldn't stop talking about this guy, Corey Solomon, that was the name of the guy whose account he found at Merrill Lynch, who made a ton of money. And he was obsessed with this. And he told me that he wanted to do it, but he couldn't do it on his own because he had to be at work during market hours. And this plan involved doing a bunch of research on stocks during market hours. He said he would not be available for that. So he offered that he would give me money and I would do the trading. He would like train me on how to do it, and then we would split the profits 50-50.
What sort of responsibilities did you have to get trained on?
My tasks were to do research on the stocks every day to find the ones that were profitable. I would look on different websites and databases, and then he created an Excel document that would help do calculations to figure out which stocks were profitable that day.
Did you do any of the analysis yourself?
I plugged numbers into the Excel document that he made.
And how long did you do that for?
It started in December 2016, and I think it went on till 2018.
Okay. What happened in 2018?
The opportunity for that investment scheme was no longer available because of the fees. And so just switched to regular investment, like buying Disney.
What's your understanding of regular investment?
Like buying Apple or Disney or Google and just holding on to it.
Okay.
Not like the get rich quick scheme thing.
What was your understanding of the get rich quick scheme?
That was the free money scheme.
Did you have an understanding of the mechanics of it?
I didn't really understand how it worked. I just did what he told me to do.
Okay. How was this get rich quick scheme funded?
Zubair provided the seed money.
What does that mean, seed money?
He gave me cash, and I used that money to do the investments.
How much cash did he give you?
In total, it was $94,000 over the course of like a month or something. I think it started out with like 23, and then he gave me more later.
And was it successful?
Yes.
Do you know how much money you guys managed to earn during that period before you quit with the free money or get rich quick scheme?
Well, like the plan changed after only a few weeks. So because you had said how much money you guys made, but it was I made the money because it was my money.
Well, okay, so let's back up then. So December 2016, you start investing, and Mr. Hussaini, or Zubair, we'll call him, he provided the seed money, right?
Yes.
And that was the money that you were using to invest, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So at what point, my question is, was that profitable?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how much money was in the account at the end of 2017?
I think about 200,000.
Okay. Now, we've seen a document titled the residence agreement. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
What's your understanding of the residence agreement?
The residence agreement came about because Zubair was telling me not to tell anybody about plan that we were doing, and I got really suspicious. I told my mom, and she said, "Are you sure that's legal?" And I said, "Well, Zubair said it's legal." And she said, "Why don't you like make sure?" And so I confronted him, and he didn't want to admit it at first, but then he told me that the plan did not comply with the regulations and laws that applied to him as a regulated individual. So when he told me that, I told him that I don't want to be involved in his illegal scheme. And he tried to convince me that we should keep going because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And he said, if I can't do it, then you should do it. And he said that if I was trading my own money, it would be legal. And the only reason that it was improper was because he's not allowed to be trading in a secret account. He said that nothing about the actual investment was illegal in itself. So that if the $94,000 was my money and I was investing my own money and profiting off my own money, then there's nothing improper about that. And I said to him, like, what am I going to give you in exchange for $94,000? He came up with the idea of 25 years of free rent, which breaks down to $300 a month. So he said, this is a great deal for both of us. I'm locking in really cheap rent and you get all this money for your investment. And we agreed that if he was going to move out before the 25 years was over, that we would do a rescission of the agreement. So like if he moved out after 1 year, he would get his $94,000 back and I would get paid for the 1 year of free rent that he got.
So you had kind of built in a way to terminate the agreement.
Yes.
Did you guys memorialize this agreement anywhere?
We wrote down one sentence.
And use this exhibit, please, or show this exhibit. All right, is this the residence agreement?
Yes.
When was this agreement entered into?
January 2017.
You guys didn't enter into this agreement in March 2017 and then backdate it?
No.
Why? Okay, so you had been, according to the timeline so far, you've been trading for about a month.
I think this was about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks after we started.
Okay. And was there any mention of the FBI at that time?
No, that came later.
Was this written in anticipation of any sort of investigation or criminal investigation?
Well, I feared that it was illegal, but I didn't anticipate any investigation currently.
Okay. So what was your intention when you entered into this agreement?
My intention was that the $94,000 would become my money and I would invest it.
Who signed the agreement first?
I believe I signed it first and then he signed under my name.
Okay. Who drew up the agreement in your recollection?
Zubair did.
Okay. Did you collect any rent from Mr. Hussaini?
No.
And then, do you believe you complied with the terms of this agreement?
Yes.
Did you think this was a real agreement when you signed it?
Yes.
Okay. How did things go under this residence agreement?
It was going pretty well. I was making money.
Did you agree to split the profits with Mr. Hussaini?
No. The profits were mine because the money was mine.
Okay. And did you think that was a fair exchange?
Yes.
He got 25 years of essentially prepaid rent, and you got $94,000. You think that's a fair exchange?
Yes. When I looked up how much the value of 25 years of rent would be for 1 bedroom in a 2-bedroom house in my zip code, it said it would be about $360,000. So I did
360,000.
I did feel that he was getting a good deal.
Okay.
And rent continues to go up all the time, but he was locking it in at $300 a month.
Okay. Did Mr. Hussaini think it was a good deal?
Yes, it was his idea.
Okay. And then we're going to look at, that's the same one. Number 2. All right. The roommate agreement. If the residence agreement was working so well, why did you enter into this agreement?
Zubair told me that he wanted his money back. And so I asked him, oh, okay, are you moving out? Is it time to do the rescission of the other contract? And he said, no, I'm not moving out. He said, I want to continue to get free rent, but also get my money back. I didn't think that was fair, but he convinced me to give the money back over a long period of time, just a little bit at a time. So I gave into that.
How did he convince you?
He said that it was originally his money and that he worked so hard for that money and he deserves to get it back.
And you agreed?
I agreed.
Okay. Let's look at some of these terms. Well, first off, did you sign this on June 7th, 2017?
Yes.
Did you draw up this document?
I helped to create it, but he typed it up. I didn't really have a good laptop at the time.
Okay. And it's an agreement between Ioana Sammartinian and Zubair Hussaini to in effect starting August 1st, 2015, when they became roommates at 15824 North 22nd Way, hereinafter referred to as a mothership. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Was there any mention of taxes when you were preparing this agreement?
No.
What's your understanding of the third wish principle?
This is an agreement that he made to pay for all of the vet bills for the dogs we had.
Did that phrase third wish principle mean anything to you?
I don't remember exactly how I won these wishes or what the other 2 wishes were. This was back in college and I don't really remember. But I guess my third wish was for him to pay for the vet bills.
Okay. And looks like your responsibility was paying utilities,
Yes.
and then you both agreed that the mothership would remain a vegan household. Does that capture your guys' intent?
Yes.
And again, you signed. Did you intend for this agreement to mean anything other than what's written here?
No.
All right, and then we have this phrase, residence agreement. No payment shall be made for residence in mothership until 25 years from the date of move-in, August 1st, 2015, At that date, rent payments will begin and shall be locked in at the rate of $777 per month, due the first of every month, starting on August 1st, 2040. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes,
So that essentially brings forward the residence agreement that you'd previously signed?
well, this is different because the residence agreement entitled him to 25 years of free rent, but this entitled him to free rent while he was living at the property. So if he were to move out before 25 years, he wouldn't be entitled to anything extra.
Oh, where does it say that though?
It says, no payment shall be made for residents in the mothership until 25 years. So he would get free residence as long as he lived in the property until 2040. And then if he was still living there in 2040, then I would start charging rent.
Did you draw up this provision?
This was his idea.
Okay. And was that nuance settled on or discussed?
We agreed to this.
Okay. And then signature there below.
Yes.
Did you intend for that particular section to mean anything other than what it says?
No.
Okay. So now 2.5 loan, this is kind of the crux of this lawsuit, right? A bona fide loan in the amount of $94,000 for which details and payment schedule are outlined in item A is provided by Zubair Hussaini to Ioana Samartinian, contingent on the aforementioned terms in sections 2.1 through 2.4. This loan is not to be construed as a rental payment and is provided to Ioana Samartinian at a rate of 2.7767% per annum. What did you understand that to mean?
I understood that to mean that I was paying Zubair back the money that he had given me.
Did you negotiate that rate?
Yes.
It's kind of a very particular rate. How did you guys come up with that rate?
I wanted to pay as little interest as possible.
And why was that the rate that you settled on? Why not 2 or 3?
Zubair chose that number and I agreed to it.
Did he explain to you why he chose that number?
No.
But it seemed pretty good to you, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you understand at that point that you were paying back a loan?
Yes.
At any point, did you ever understand that that might be used to avoid taxes, paying income taxes?
No.
Not when you signed it?
No.
But you did sign it?
Yes.
Okay. Terms and conditions. Who created this page?
We created this together.
Okay. All items in this roommate agreement are non-transferable. What does that mean?
Like that the rights and obligations cannot be put onto different people.
Okay. Termination. A 90-day notice must be given in writing in order to terminate this agreement prematurely. Otherwise, this agreement terminates upon the death of either party. What did you understand that to mean?
That if we wanted to end this deal early, that either party would have to say so in writing and give 90 days notice.
Did you ever give a notice like that to Zubair?
No.
Did he ever give one to you?
No.
All right. And then the big one supersedes previous agreements. This agreement supersedes all prior or contemporaneous negotiations, commitments, agreements, written or oral, and writings between the parties with respect to the subject matter hereof. All such other negotiations, commitments, agreements, and writings will have no further force or effect. And the parties to any such negotiation, commitment, agreement, or writing will have no further rights or obligations thereunder. What did you understand that to mean?
This section was included because we had those previous agreements. And I wanted to make sure that it was clear which agreement that we were going to live by, operate under. At one point, Zubair expressed to me that he believed the money still belonged to him, even though we signed the other agreement, the residence agreement. And he tried to get me to sign a document saying so. And I told him no, the agreement is that it's my money. But it seemed like he believed that two opposite things can be true at the same time. And I just really wanted to make sure that we were clear that that's not the case. And there's only one agreement in place between us, and it's this agreement.
So you were specifically intending to terminate the other two agreements, is that correct?
Yes,
And when it says written, you're referring to the residence agreement?
yes,
And oral agreement, you're referring to the original get-rich-quick scheme?
yes,
Okay. Did you guys sign this agreement?
yes,
Did you ever intend for that to mean anything other than what it says?
no,
Did you intend to be bound by this agreement?
yes,
Did you comply with the repayment terms?
I did.
Did you ever stop making payments?
No, he says one of my payments bounced in 2023, but he didn't say anything to me about that until 2025. And in 2024, I mailed him a check, but it came back as undeliverable. In 2025, I did give him a payment that he accepted. I have not made this year's payment yet. I've been waiting for this case to be determined, and if the court determines that this contract is enforced, then I'm planning to make my payment with a late payment as well.
That's kind of the end of that document. How did things go after June 7th, 2017?
Good. We lived by this. He got free rent at my home until 2023 for 6 years. And I paid him every year on this loan. There were years that I made multiple payments. So my payments totaled $28,000.
Okay. Now I notice there's one thing absent from this agreement, and that is any mention of a split of the investment profits. What happened to that?
Well, in the previous agreement, we had already agreed that the money was my money. So if the money was my money, the profit was mine as well. That was already agreed before this,
Okay.
and that stayed the same.
And Mr. Hussaini said that that's crazy. He was paying high interest. Did he ever say anything like that to you?
No,
Did he ever complain to you about the payments being insufficient to cover his interest?
no,
Did he ever bring up splitting the profits during the negotiation of this particular agreement?
no.
So it's your understanding that what he got out of this was your annual payments plus that included interest. Is that correct?
As well as free residence at my property.
Plus the free residence. Okay. Well, so you testified in 2018 that you guys moved on from the free money or get rich quick scheme. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you guys make any other sort of investment efforts after that?
Just the regular. Oh, so in 2020?
Well, at any time. Let's kind of track from 2018.
In 2020, we made another agreement.
Tell me about that agreement.
Zubair approached me saying that I could make over $10 million if I invest the equity in my property, because I bought my house at like $50,000 and it increased in value significantly by 2020 in over 9 years. and there was $175,000 of equity in the property. So he convinced me that if I were to take that money out and invest it according to his instructions, that I would be set for life. He said that I wouldn't have to work again. And I thought that sounded really great. I tried to get a second mortgage on my property in order to do that, but it didn't work. And then he tried to co-sign to help me get a loan. And for that, we agreed that even though his name was going to be on the paperwork, it was going to still be my house.
Well, in order to secure this loan, did you guys ever attempt or represent that you were engaged?
Yes.
What did that mean to you?
Well, he told me that the down payment can only come from certain parties. And one of them was like, if you're engaged. And I said, will you marry me for this loan? He said, I will. So we were technically engaged, but it's not true what he wrote to the mortgage lender about us dating.
You're talking about the engagement letter that was produced earlier?
Yeah, yes.
Pull that up. I'm gonna need glasses. Oh my gosh. All right. So this, you're saying that this is not accurate?
Only the beginning is accurate about us being close friends and meeting in Peoria High School.
But you didn't start dating in 2014?
No.
Did you help him write this?
He wrote this and asked me to sign it, and I agreed.
Okay. Is that your signature?
It's my electronic signature.
Okay. Did it work? Did you get the loan?
No. This application was rejected, and we moved on to a completely different plan.
What was that plan?
Zubair told me that we can structure the transaction like a sale, but he made me a promise that the property would remain mine. He said that it's like you're doing a home equity loan, like you tried to do earlier, but it's just going to be in my name. So the property remains yours and the money remains yours, just like you did the home equity loan. But my name is just going to be on the paperwork to help you secure that funding.
Okay.
And we agreed that the money I received from this transaction would be invested, and that we would split the profits from that investment, and we would split the mortgage.
So was that agreement ever written down at the time that you guys entered into it?
No.
Did you have any reason to doubt Zubair's intention to honor that agreement?
No, I trusted him fully. I would have trusted him with my life, and he promised me. I never had any intention whatsoever of giving up any ownership of my property. I would have never done that if not for the promise that he made to me and my mom.
How did, you said he made a promise to your mom. How did that happen?
My mom was the co-owner of the property, since she co-signed for me when I first got the house. So in order to do this transaction, we needed her permission. And he promised her the very same thing he promised me, which is that even though his name is going to be on the title or deed and on the mortgage, it would remain my property always.
Did he make any representations to your mother about the effectiveness of this investment opportunity?
Yes, he sent her charts showing how much money could be made.
Did you see those charts?
Yes.
Okay.
It was very favorable.
Were you also convinced by them?
Yes.
So what was your understanding of the relationship then with respect to the ownership of the property?
My understanding is that it was like a trustee relationship where he was holding title for my benefit, that I would continue to own the property, and it was just his name on the title, but that he would not get any ownership interest or rights to the property.
Okay, so he represents, we've heard him testify that your idea of this was that he had all liabilities and no benefit. He was going to have to take on a mortgage. You keep ownership of the house. How does that make sense? So is that your understanding of the deal?
No, the agreement was that we would split the investment profit and split the mortgage. And we did split the mortgage. So I believe that he's entitled to half the profit from the investment.
Okay. How often did you guys pay out dividends on these investments?
The payout was to come at the end of the deal
When was that?
when either of us decided or agreed to end it.
Did you guys have any sort of termination clause in place like you did for the roommate agreement?
No,
So what was your understanding of what that process was going to look like?
my understanding was that at the time that we agreed to end the deal, we would calculate how much profit was made from the investment, and then we would split that profit, and I would get my house back in my name.
And what would happen to the mortgage?
Well, the house would be back in my name and the mortgage would be in my name, so I would take over the mortgage.
Now you heard Mr. Hussaini testify that the mortgage itself was non-assumable. Do you have any understanding of what that means?
I believe it means that you can't just change the name on the deed without the loan being due.
Okay. Did you have a plan in mind about how you were going to assume the mortgage?
We were trying to figure that out in 2022 when we were agreeing to end the deal. But in 2020, at first we had agreed that it would just be a quick claim deed. And after the transaction went through, we signed a quick claim deed where he deeded the property back to me, and he told me he was going to record that deed. So I didn't ask him for a copy because it was going to be public record. But he did not record that deed.
Do you have any idea why?
He told me eventually that the reason he didn't do it was because the loan was not assumable, and if he changed the name on the deed, then all the money would be due immediately.
Was there enough money in the shared account or the investment account to cover the acceleration of the loan?
Yes, when we signed the deed, it was immediately after the transaction, so I could have just paid the money back and canceled it.
Okay. At a certain point, you guys signed the document you see on the monitor. When was this? First of all, did you create this?
Yes.
And at what point did you create this?
November 2022.
And what was the impetus behind you creating, or what was the reason behind you creating it?
In October 2022, Zubair started saying that he should be entitled to the growth and value of the property. And I was really shocked by that because our agreement that we made in 2020 was that the property would remain mine. So if the property is mine, then I'm the one that's entitled to benefit from it. He was just merely on the title for paperwork. And so it didn't make any sense to me that he was now trying to claim part of the value of my home. So I asked him for written reassurance of the promise that he made me because I was afraid he was going to break his promise.
And was there anything else that he did that made you concerned that he was trying to take more ownership interest than you thought he should?
Well, he was also trying to claim half of the $175,000.
Okay, how did he do that?
He was making that same argument that he made earlier, saying that I can either own the house or I can own the 175, but it doesn't make sense for me to own both. But our original agreement was that it was like a home equity loan for me. And when you do a home equity loan, you continue to own your house and you also own the money that you borrow against the house.
Okay. But it was sort of different from a home equity loan, wasn't it? Because his name was now on the title, correct?
That was supposed to be the only difference.
Were you paying on the mortgage as well?
Yes, I paid half the mortgage.
This is getting really hot.
Mhm.
Okay, so you were paying the mortgage. How did you pay the mortgage?
I paid the mortgage through my niece's rent. That first month after we did the title transfer, my niece sent me rent like usual, and I put it in the shared account to be my half of the mortgage payment. And a half of the mortgage payment was $550, and my niece's rent was $770. So there was like $220 left over, and that covered the utilities.
Okay. Mr. Hussaini seems to think that your niece would have rented the house whether or not you were the owner. Do you think that's true?
No.
Why not?
The only reason that the opportunity existed was because I was the owner.
She wasn't, I mean, was she asking you if she could rent the place?
I offered her.
Okay. So you went out and sought her to be the tenant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So did you talk to Zubair about the rent covering your portion of the mortgage?
Yes, that is what we agreed to.
Okay. And he said, that's fine.
Yes.
And how was he covering his portion of the mortgage?
He would put money in from his own separate account and then into like the shared account. And then the mortgage was paid from that shared account that my money also went into, my rent money.
Well, okay. And so at what point did rent payments go directly from your niece to Mr. Hussaini?
Later in 2020, he told me that the IRS was going to audit me because if I report the the rent income on my taxes, he said that since I don't own any property on paper, it will look really weird to the IRS if I'm reporting rental income. So he said, since I'm the owner on paper, I should also be the one that's reporting the rental income. And that is an agreement that we both made together.
Did anybody from the IRS ever give you that impression?
No, but I trusted him at the time. I didn't know anything about finances or taxes.
Okay, so you're paying half the rent through your niece. He's paying half the rent through his job.
Yes.
Okay. And where was he working at the time?
In 2020, I think he was working at American Express.
Do you know what he was doing there?
Some financial stuff. I don't really know.
Okay. Did you have a job?
Yes, I had a few jobs.
Okay. Did you have, a steady income of your own?
Yes, I worked multiple part-time jobs. So I was a pet sitter, and I also worked like in an after-school program, a few different ones. Like I taught a Lego club, and then I also taught like a baking club. And then I also worked at this place, Kumon, which is like an after-school place where kids go to practice math and reading.
Okay. And how did things go after the transaction finalized and the money got put into the shared account? How did the investments go?
They went all right. I don't think it was that profitable, but it didn't lose money.
Okay. And how were things going with you and Mr. Hussaini?
They were good until like 2021.
At what point did the tiny houses come into it?
The tiny houses were built in 2018.
Okay. Tell me about the tiny houses.
Well, in 2017, Zubair, he brought these two big, very aggressive pit bulls into my home, and without my permission. And he said, they live here now. And I had 4 dogs at the time, 3 Chihuahuas, and 1 small pit bull. His dogs were extremely aggressive. We had to keep them separated 100% of the time. One time they did come into contact and had a huge fight, and I still have a scar from getting between them. It's a miracle that everything turned out all right. But that really freaked me out. And I said, it's really dangerous to be living like this with the dogs in close proximity. So we discussed him moving out, but he didn't want to because he was getting free rent. And so I came up with a creative solution of these tiny houses, and it was supposed to be very temporary. Like we had all these other ideas and plans, and we said that we were gonna build tiny houses in Prescott too, and that's where we would stay most of the time, on the edge of the national forest. And because I had elderly dogs, and I just wanted them to live out the rest of their life running around in the forest. And but the forest house never happened. It was supposed to happen within a year or two, but he kept putting it off and saying oh, you don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. We have to keep investing. And I finally realized that it was not going to happen before my dogs passed away. So it's pointless.
So you decided to put the tiny houses in your backyard?
Yes.
At what point, how did you purchase these tiny houses?
I paid for the tiny houses with the money in my investment account.
Which money are you referring to?
I only had one investment account.
Okay,
It
so
was-
just for timeline purposes, you said that the tiny houses were in 2018.
Yes.
So we're talking about the 94,000 and its proceeds, investment proceeds?
Yes.
Okay. And this was after the roommate agreement was signed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So tiny houses, how much did they cost?
For both of them, it was about $50,000.
Total?
Yes.
Okay. Were there any other associated expenses with them?
That was total.
Okay. And then how much was left in the investment account after you paid for the tiny houses?
I'm not exactly sure because I didn't really ever look at the statements. I just trusted Zubair.
Okay. And did he ever take any money out of that account?
Yes.
What happened?
I don't know. He didn't tell me. I found out about the $10,000 he took from when he filed his lawsuit, and he mentioned it in there.
You didn't find out until 2023?
Correct.
That was 5 years after the fact?
I think he took the 10,000 in 2021 or 2022.
Okay. A few years later after the sale deal.
Yes.
Okay. Did he have any input on the tiny houses?
We each designed our own tiny house.
What was that process like?
There was an interactive website it was like toughshed.com. And then you can design like the size you want and how many windows and what kind of roof and what color and like stairs and everything. It was a 2-story. Both of them were 2 stories. He originally just copied my design but different colors, and but he did not add a bathroom or kitchen to his.
Did you?
Yes.
He testified he built it for you. Is that true?
We did it together.
Okay.
And then I told him he should do it at his place too because it's so much better. And I told him that like now that we know how to do it, it will be really easy. But he said he didn't want that. He said that it would take up too much space in his tiny home. And he said that he prefers to come over and eat with me anyways. So it was his idea to build a bathroom in like a detached bathroom a few feet away from his tiny house.
So that was the outdoor outhouse and shower.
Yes.
How long did that take to assemble?
I paid contractors to do that. I don't know. It didn't take that long.
Okay. How much did it cost?
I think that was about $10,000.
Okay. So all in tiny houses plus the outhouse was about 60 grand?
I believe so.
Okay. So 2020, you do this sale, you have your niece come rent. And then 2022, things start to get a little rocky. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it a sale. It was kind of like a sale, but it wasn't a sale. It was a title transfer.
Okay. That allowed you to take the equity out of your house.
Correct.
Okay. And so like I said, in 2022, things started to get a little rocky. And tell me about that.
Well, I told him that I wanted to not have my finances be managed by him anymore or involved with him anymore. A couple months prior to that, I had been talking to my friend Basant, and I had mentioned to her that, well, she was starting like a women's financial group to help women like learn more about finances and be more in control of their financial life. And so she wanted me to get involved in that. And I was like, I told her I don't really know much about finances. And I told her that Zubair manages everything for me. He has all my passwords, my social security number, and that he's on the title to my property. And she was horrified by that. She told me,
Tell you why that was horrifying to her?
yeah, she told me I was,
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Overruled.
she told me that I was putting myself in a very dangerous position by trusting a man with all of my assets like that.
Did you feel like that was true when it came to Mr. Hussaini?
At first I argued back and I said, no, I can trust him. And she insisted and she advised me that the smart thing to do would be to be in control of my own finances. And I thought about what she said for a couple of months. I thought about it really hard and I agreed with her.
So at that point, he had access to your bank accounts, your investment accounts. It was on the title of your house. He knew your social security number. Was there any sensitive information he didn't have access to?
Maybe my diary.
But as far as your financial information, he had access to all of it.
Yes.
Okay. And did that make you feel secure?
At first it did, but then our friendship started getting rocky in 2021. Me and my longtime boyfriend of like 6 years had broken up, and after that, like I've never seen Zubair happier. He was in the best mood I've ever seen him in for months, and we were going on all these road trips with our friends to like caves and rivers and stuff and just having a great time. And then one day I told him like, oh, I'm dating someone new. And it was like night and day. Like all of a sudden he became very cold and distant and he would just stay in his tiny house and not talk to me. And when we went to work out with our friend, he didn't want to carpool anymore. Like he would ride his bike over there separate from me. And it was just weird. And I could sense that he was pulling away from our friendship and that level of trust was not there anymore. So I told him I wanted to have him out of my finances.
Did you ask him to move out?
Not at that time. He was welcome to stay at that time.
Did you guys still use that term forever friend?
I'm not sure.
Okay. How did he react to you asking him to get out of the finances?
He seemed a little upset, but he was cordial at first. And when we started our discussions, they were friendly. So we started discussing how to do a rescission, or like how to undo the 2017 deal, and what to do about the 2020 deal.
Okay. Why did you think that the 2017 deal needed to be rescinded?
Zubair told me he would only negotiate under that framework.
Okay, so according to him, it was still in effect.
Yes.
Okay. And the 2020 deal, what was your guys' plan to unwind that deal?
Well, we never came to an agreement. We negotiated back and forth for months on that. The basic outline was that I would give him back the money that he had given me, and he would give me back the money that I had given him and the value of the re-rent that he received.
And when you say the money he had given you, what was your understanding of that amount?
The $94,000.
And the money that you had given him, what was your understanding of that amount?
The payments I made towards the loan. At that time, I think it was around 15,000.
So you wanted to wind the clock back to before the investment agreement ever took place?
Yes, before the 2017 written agreement.
The roommate agreement.
Yes.
Okay. Did that rescission ever take place?
No, we could not come to an agreement on the back rent was the biggest thing. I gave him a few different numbers. They were based off market rent, but included discounts because he didn't have the bathroom in the tiny house. So I offered a 10% discount or a 20% discount. And I gave him my calculations.
Did you guys ever have anybody mediate disputes for you?
Multiple times.
How did that go?
Not well.
Did it help you get closer to a deal?
No.
Did it draw you further apart?
Yes.
So we saw some discussion about a fake agreement being produced during a mediation. Do you have any recollection of that?
Yes.
What was your understanding of what the fake agreement was?
That's what I was talking about earlier when he tried to get me to sign that contract that said that the $94,000 was still his money. And I told him I'm not signing that. The agreement we had at the time was the residence agreement.
So was that between the residence agreement and the roommate agreement?
Yes.
Okay. And why did you refer to it as the fake agreement?
Because I never signed that agreement. I never agreed to that.
Did you see any of the documents that he produced during that mediation?
No.
Did you bring any documents?
I brought documents.
Did he see those documents?
I don't know.
So the mediator was the one that suggested this agreement, wasn't it?
Yes, she told me that he showed her that, and I was really shocked.
Was it possible she could have been referring to something else other than what you thought it was?
Well, she described it to me as a contract saying that the $94,000 always belonged to him. And she told me that it was signed by both of us, but I never signed that contract. So I believe that he forged my signature.
Was that document ever produced here during this litigation?
No.
Okay. I'm at a good place to pause, Your Honor.
Okay, folks, we're going to recess. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. Please remember the admonition. Step down. And the record will show the jury has left. Stick around, Civilia's gonna bring you final jury instructions. I think John's gonna print for you, if he hasn't already, draft of the verdict forms. And I think Civilia's gonna email the jury instructions to you as well. Anything y'all want to talk about?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, not right.
About that tomorrow.
Okay, then we'll see you tomorrow at 9:30.
All right. Judge.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, you said 8:45, wasn't it?
Oh, you're right. 8:45. Oh. Just water.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's okay. I'll figure it out.
Said we preserved it, but he's not gonna address it today. He said maybe tomorrow, but we didn't know when. So. He's probably just saying,